Hello everyone, my name's Ethan. This is my channel, Gringo Campesino. I'm in the back of my house here. I have the sheep and the chicken pen behind me. And unfortunately today is pretty gloomy, but you can see the animals are hiding out in the chicken shed and the sheep shed. Unfortunately, I've had a few deaths on the farm this week. Well, two. First, I had a chicken. Hector here is not so bad, but my other dog is learning that he can run fast enough to catch chickens. So he unfortunately was caught with a chicken in his mouth. It was a dead chicken. He is now in the freezer, the chicken that is, not Paris, my other dog. But I'm having to train the dogs with more effort now that they can run. I have to train them not to hunt chickens. So I recently put all the chickens into the pen for a few days to make sure that they can be protected from the dogs, and I am putting the dogs in the pen once in a while and smacking them with a newspaper when they try to attack the chickens. So hopefully that will work. Hopefully the dogs will know not to hunt the chickens. My other dogs have already learned that. My dog that is older, my 8-year-old Ridgeback now, he's known that for a long time. He grew up with chickens. So I just need to teach the Dobermans that they are not allowed to hunt chickens. The second reason the chickens are in the pen is they have not been laying eggs. And at first I thought I was just missing the eggs, or I had some predators eating the eggs. But I've had them in the pen for about 2 days now, and they are not producing. So I have deduced that it must be a nutritional problem because they are the right age to be laying eggs. I have 8 or 9 hens, and so for all of them to be molting at the same time is very unlikely. So I do believe it's a nutritional problem. So I need to go get some supplements. I think it's probably calcium deficiency because they do scratch the compost pile and they're getting plenty of worms in the compost pile. I am also starting up a worm bin so I can feed them some black soldier fly maggots so they can increase their nutrition and protein intake through that. But they have plenty of produce to eat, and there's bugs crawling through there, so I think they're getting the bugs. So the other death is unfortunately a sheep. I had a lamb found dead today. The only reason I found him was there are vultures picking him clean. I'm deducing that he's probably been dead for approximately 2 days. There are no maggots on his body, so I don't think there's been time for the maggots to grow, but he is close to being picked down to the bone. I will show a picture in a moment here. Unfortunately, that makes it very difficult for me to figure out what happened to him. The vulture have picked him clean, so I don't know if it was wild dogs. I don't know if it was some other kind of animal that took him down. I don't think it was my dogs. I believe I would have heard it or figured it out. But there is a possibility that my dog scared him to death. That is not unheard of with sheep. When they get really nervous, they will pass out and sometimes die. So let me walk over to the sheep and I'll show you a little bit more. These are my sheep. You can see they are a tropical variety, meaning that they have no wool. So they have very short fur to be able to handle the warmer weather. Though they can go up into the mountains here. There are a few farmers that basically herd wild sheep, and I say wild loosely because they are these breed, but they will let them roam wild for weeks by themselves and then herd them up and check them out, give them vaccines and everything. So I am down to 6 sheep. Unfortunately, the lamb that was killed or died from some kind of sickness today was the second one I lost in about 4 or 5 months. His mother unfortunately died about 4 months ago, but I'm pretty confident I know the reason for that. She died from what I believe is toxic shock. You see, they're hoping they're going to get fed. So this one here is the male, and it was her sister that died from toxic shock. She looks to be pretty pregnant, so I'm hoping she gives me another female soon. But anyway, her sister gave birth to a stillborn fetus. She was dragging it around the farm, and so I helped to remove the material, the fetus, and what was left of the placenta. However, I must not have gotten all of it, and I think she died from the shock of having that inside of her and the sickness that followed, because she died soon after during the night when I had already assumed she was doing fine, because she was walking around and eating and enjoying time with the flock. So this leaves me a decision. I have to decide what to do. I need to obviously make sure my sheep are healthy. These ones here all seem to be very healthy. I do give them the injections of nutrients and medicine on a frequent basis. So hopefully I won't lose another one, and hopefully these pregnant females will expand the flock for me. This is the inside of the chicken pen. I newly put down a concrete floor with a drainage over here. The drainage will go directly into my biodigester to produce methane for the farm. It's a burnable gas, so I can use it in the kitchen or in the sauna if I want. So these ladies are happy in here. They're getting plenty of food, and you can see there's some fresh bananas there that they're eating. But I do think the food they're getting is probably short in calcium, like I had mentioned. So I think it's a calcium deficiency that I need to work on for them to start laying eggs again. And once in a while, I need to let the dogs in and kind of entrap the dogs to think that they can play with the chickens, and then smack the dogs and teach them that they're not allowed. The other decision that needs to be made on the farm is with this cow. So this is the neighbor's cow. She is enjoying the guava. She's pulling off the tree here. So I don't mind her being on the farm. I actually welcome her here because she is helping control some of the long grass that the sheep don't like eating. And so I am thinking about getting a permanent addition to the farm in the form of a cow. The choice is, should I keep this female? She's a little bit expensive. I think the neighbor is giving me a Gringo price. So do I choose this one? Do I choose another female? Or do I choose a male? So the choices are more complicated than might seem. If I do get a female, she will obviously be able to reproduce. My dogs are messing with the sheep right now, so I have to go over and scald them. Hey, chill out. Anyway, the choice is with the cow, who is licking some salt here. So the choice with the cow is, should I get a female, which will help me with some milk for the farm? Do I get a male, who I will just raise from a young calf up into an adult, and when he's an adult, I'll sell him to the butcher? But even though I would prefer having milk and the ability for the cow to reproduce for me, it's not so simple, because if I am gone for a day, not only do I need to find someone to help take care of the farm which is not so simple because I do live alone. I will also need to find someone to come and milk the cow, because if she is lactating, I can't leave her a whole day without expelling milk. So that's a big choice I am to make in the near future. I'm leaning towards a female. Hopefully my worker will be willing to come in on weekends if I'm not around to milk the cow. But I've never milked a cow before. I've never had a cow before. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, a quick recap. As you can see, it's raining. And as you can hear, I live under a tin roof. So it's not always the quietest when it is raining. But I have a big choice to make. Do I get a female cow? Do I get a male cow? How much am I willing to spend? And so forth. How much of a learning curve is there to milk the cow every day? I have made cheese before. I do know how to make cheese. So if I do have an excess of milk, I can make simple cheese. The other choice is, what do I do about this dead sheep? He's pretty much bones at this point. The vultures have picked him pretty clean. Like I had mentioned, I'm pretty confident my dogs did not take him down, but I think there's a possibility other dogs took him down. And I did catch two dogs. One was a beagle mix from the neighbors on my farm, and I put my Ridgebacks on them. My Ridgebacks chased them down. My dogs are very fast. The Dobermans are too young for a fight, but the Ridgebacks got a hold of them. Did not kill the dogs, if anyone's wondering. I recalled them before they killed the other dogs. But I do think the other dogs will not come back. So if that was the problem, I hope it has been solved. I need to make sure the dogs know to patrol the farm a little bit more, but not mess with the sheep themselves. And the last part is I need to teach the dogs not to hunt the chickens and figure out a nutritional deficit for my chickens. So if you have any questions, let me know. The tropics here are very different than raising sheep and chickens in the northern climates. There are some things you need to learn, such as the type of predators. Maybe in the U.S. you might not have problems with wild dogs or neighbor dogs hunting down animals. Snakes are another thing that I have to worry about. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, this is my channel, Gringo Campesino.